Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown,
the unofficial sumo podcast
for official sumo fans.
Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown. This is Ryan.
This is Jake.
This is Flerick.
This is Mac.
And this is our preview episode for the Haru Basho. We are recording this on Wednesday night, so if there are any Kyujo announcements that come out after this, we didn't know about them, so sorry about that.
And we probably shouldn't have picked all of those guys in our upcoming predictions.
Yep.
Not a single one.
Furtively changing all of my votes.
Yeah, I probably should just go with like Daisho for everything just to be safe. I haven't heard any news that he's injured.
Yeah, that's pretty safe.
Yeah. All right, so Mac is down for the Daisho U show.
What? No!
This being our preview episode, we're going to kind of try to make it a little welcoming for somebody who maybe this is their first basho really paying attention. So we're going to try to place emphasis on explaining the vocabulary of sumo in case you're not familiar with that. But before we get into discussing the Haru Basho, let's take a trip back in the Wayback Machine and go over the Kyushu Basho with a report from our field correspondent, B.
Hey guys, it's B. Well, 2018's in the books, and I think it's safe to say we're in the middle of a company overhaul. I mean, looking back on 2018, this was without a doubt a new blood rising sort of year. We're really in a transitional period, so much so that I half expected Takakeisho to mention Ruthless Shikara in his Emperor's Cup promo. Looking back, they did a good job tying up most of the older storylines, I thought. Kakiryu finally getting those back-to-back outright U shows, the whole Hakuho's 1000th storyline, Kizuna Sato's return tournament, although it is starting to seem like this whole injury angle might not be a work after all. And of course you had some long-term stuff that's going to keep going, like Yoko Hopeful Takayasu, but the year was defined by new, fresh babyface pushes. 3 new ones, specifically. I mean, first you've got Toshinoshin, who gets the U show from the rank and file storyline they haven't done since 2012. And while he may not be the youngest guy, and probably a new knee too late from being the face of the company, he's a fan favorite that fills that babyface foreigner role Kodooshu held for so long. Another guy in the upper mid-card with the potential to main event sounds good to me. Then you've got Mataki Yumi. I mean, his mom might be as over with the crowd as he is, but the company obviously likes him as another native star. Granted, after his win, it seems like he was getting a little bit of a Dolph Ziggler-style D-push with that Ozeki Run storyline fizzling out, but you know how it is. Plans change. And finally, Takakeisho, who seems poised to get that classic young Yokozuna push if he can keep his nose clean in the locker room. Guy's got the rocket strapped to him because the company knows it needs to make new stars. Fresh faces, fresh tournament winners, fresh storylines, and it seems like they're ready to commit. Anyway, thanks again for the correspondence job, guys. This really has been a hell of a year, and I look forward to where the product goes from here. We very well may be in like a 1996 WWE or 2015 NJPW style transition period, and I couldn't be more excited. I'll see you next year. Oh, and P.S., if we're doing fantasy booking, I'm holding out for a Takanohana stable invasion angle, like a run-in with a chair on day 15 of Hatsu. I can hear it now. Takagun Ichiban.
All right, thank you, B. I think we've all kind of settled into the fact that you have no idea what you're talking about, but a solid recap nonetheless.
There's a lot of confusion over types of wrestling, but he's doing his best.
He truly is doing his best. And once again, before we go on to Haru,
continuing the theme of
doing something completely different, we had a barn burner of a fantasy contest this basho. We had our movie trailer for Ichinojo 17, the return of the son of Mecha Ichinojo, this time it's Kaisei. And so we wanted everybody to come up with some sumo-related movie names, and you guys delivered very well.
Spectacularly.
Yes.
Spectacularly.
Among our favorites, we had at David the Devore with Sumonji.
Sumonji.
The sumo-themed board game that sucks you into, the magical dohyo.
Yes.
naturally.
I don't have to be the only one saying these.
No, you got it.
You let
Go
off
for
with
it.
it.
Yeah.
And then I pointed to Jake, like,
Whoa,
hey,
whoa,
you
whoa.
say so.
Whoa.
I thought you were driving the bus.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do drive the bus, and I pointed at you to, like, here, hold this for me. I have to put on my sunglasses.
Hold this bus wheel.
Yes.
All right, I'll hold the bus wheel for a moment. At Sunlan Satori gave us Abi Movie. Love that one. And also Hakuhosa Ridge. Yeah, we got a ton of good ones here. We'll should we spread them out throughout the podcast?
Sounds like a good idea to me.
We'll come back to those.
Too much greatness to be contained.
Too much greatness for like a 5-minute segment of just reading off movie pun titles.
Yes. Followed by mirthful laughter. Quite clever.
Do you guys know this is the Haru preview edition?
No, it
Oh, are we
is.
going to
No
get
way.
to that now?
Yeah.
Really?
All right, let's jump over to some Bonsuke-ness.
But before we get to that,
Something else completely. Okay, fine.
And the Bonsuke is just the ranking of the sumo wrestlers. So at the top of the rankings are Yokozuna. Only 2 of them now. We have Hakuho, the East Yokozuna, and Kakuryu, the West Yokozuna. Our Ozeki, the second highest rank. We have Takayasu as the first one, then Goeido, and unfortunately Tochinoshin still pulling up the rear in the Ozeki ranks. I'm pretty sure he's always been the last rank Ozeki since he got the promotion.
I think you're correct.
But that's going to happen after you go 0-5 and then pull out with an injury. So he is Kadoban.
Yeah, so and the Yokozuna and Ozeki rankings aren't super important. They just order them by how they performed in the most recent Basho.
Yep.
And Kadoban means if he has a losing record this time around for this Basho, he will lose his Ozeki rank.
Yeah,
Yep.
Tochinoshin would go back down to the next rank, Sekiwake.
Yep.
Currently
And
occupied by...
Takakeisho is your East Sekiwake, and Tamawashi is your West Sekiwake. There was some talk on Twitter after the Basho ended when people were putting together their predicted Bonsuke's, whether or not Tamawashi would jump over Takakeisho due to the fact that Tamawashi had a better record. He got the Yusho, but Takakeisho had the second best record and got the Jun Yusho. There is some recent precedent for that where Mitake Yumi back in Nagoya of 2018, he was the West Sekiwake and Ichinojo was the East Sekiwake. Ichinojo had an 8-7 record, so he shouldn't be demoted for it, but that's when Mitake Yumi had a 13-2 record, won the Yusho. That was a big enough discrepancy in their performance that Mitake Yumi did jump over Ichinojo then. So some people thought Tamawashi might, but he did not. Takakeisho holds on to that East Sekiwake spot.
I remember that tournament. I won that one.
That was
Yeah, broken clock has to be right twice a day, right?
I won that one.
And then our Komusubi ranks, the aforementioned Mitake Yumi managed to hold on there after coming back probably ill-advisedly from injury last time to maintain his Komusubi rank. And we have Shin, Komusubi, Hokuto Fuji entering the Sanyaku ranks for the very first time in his career to never leave again. I'm sure we all agree upon that.
Now, Ryan, what you just said his name properly, but what do you actually call Hokuto Fuji?
That is my boy, Hokuto Mount Fuji.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Ugh.
Yeah.
we'll see about that, whether he sticks around.
I have high hopes.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, like, fake, not real gonna happen, but high hopes.
It's possible. Like, I think it's starting to get a little thin on people who are obvious, like, front runners who are going to get some wins.
Yeah. I mean, there's
So-
one less Yokozuna.
There is one less.
Not that he was putting up a whole lot of wins when he was around the past year, though.
But he did hand out a lot of Kinboshi.
That he did. Hokuto Fuji will no longer be raking in the Kimboshi, though.
Yeah.
So Kimboshi is a win over a Yokozuna when you are outside of the Sanyaku ranks.
Literally translating to gold star.
Yes.
But yeah, I think there might be a good chance he sticks around. This would be a good telling boss show about that.
Yep, definitely. The guys that are just on the outside of the Sanyaku ranks, the Maegashira, at Maegashira 1, we have Kaisei and Endo.
Or the son of Mecha Ichinojo.
Yes. And then Maegashira 2, we have career high rank for Daisho at Maegashira 2 East, followed by Miyogiryu, only falling 2 ranks after a 5-10 performance at Komusubi the Basho before.
Yeah, he lucked out pretty good.
Yeah, there's just it's kind of an awkward spot in the Bonsuke where really not a whole lot of deserving people to jump up that high, so he kind of just got the benefit of the doubt there. We've seen something similar actually with Tamawashi, who went 4-11 once from the Komusubi, actually not too long ago, and he only dropped to like Maegashira 2. So it's
Not
interesting move.
unprecedented.
Yeah, but Kaisei, who went like 3-12, I think, the Basho before he was at Maegashira 8 last time, Maegashira 8 or 9 last time, and he dropped all the way down to 8-9 with the 3-12 record from Komusubi. So I don't know. It's weird. I guess it just depends on the circumstances of how the tournament plays out, how far they're going to drop.
This was just kind of a weird one. I mean, normally there's people with good records and bad records,
That is true.
Interspersed in all over the Bansuke, but
there are people with good records.
there are
and
people
bad
with good records. Yeah, and that's the thing. When there are good records, there are also bad records.
Yes.
No, I'm just saying. Like normally there's a little bit more variety at different ranks, so it's a little more clear who's going to move how far up and how far down. This time was kind of wonky.
Yeah, it was. My predicted Bansuke did not turn out the best.
It was garbage.
It was not garbage.
Hot garbage.
Hot garbage.
I was actually perfect up until the Maegashira 2 ranks. Not really that hard to get those right, but still, I didn't mess it up.
So you guessed the Yokozuna and Ozeki. Good job.
And I didn't switch
Well done.
Takakeisho and Tamawashi like others had.
Okay.
Oh my God, let's move on.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, and Maegashira 3, we've got Nishikigi and Shodai. A lot of people unhappy with Shodai's position. He was, I believe, 6-9 in the last Basho, and so some people are not happy that he didn't drop as far as he.
Some people are, like you.
No, actually, the people over at Tachiai.
Oh.
I
That's
actually-
really not like Shodai.
Well, just like based on the record that he had, like other people should have been ahead of him, according to them. But also, apparently, Shodai gets the benefit of the doubt on the Bansuke rankings a lot.
Really?
Yeah,
Why
so that's
is
something
that?
that we might need to track. I don't know, but that's something that they've said that Shodai just seems to be ranked higher than he should be.
Big Sumo seems to favor Shodai.
Big sumo. You mean regular sumo? For the record, he only got a 7 and 8.
7 and 8. Okay.
So moving from Megashare 3 east to west, I don't know. I'm not going to scream conspiracy about it, but whatever.
Looking at his past record, though, he kind of hovers. I mean, just right on the cusp of Akachikoshi and.
Oh yeah, he's been within 2 wins of a 500 record. Actually, going all the way back to like mid 2017.
Yeah. And then the last one that would be in the Joy, which is the top 16 ranks, would be Maegashira 4 East Tochiozan. And so those would be all the guys that you would expect to face the Yokozuna. We do have some newcomers to the Makuuchi division, the top division in sumo wrestling. First of all, we have Tomokaze, who is debuting at Maegashira 13. He is 24 years old. Actually, everybody that's making their Makuuchi debut is 24 years old this Basho. Tomokaze, in particular, is an impressive one to look out for. He has never had a losing record, but he hasn't had very much opportunity to have a losing record because this is only his 12th overall Basho.
Oh, wow.
So he started at Maizumo.
Oh, he
So
started.
Yeah, that's prodigy level
No kidding.
speed getting to the top ranks.
He
here.
has flown through the ranks. Like I said, never had a losing record. He has a Jonokuchi, a Sandanme, and a Juryo Yusho. And he only had 2
Dang.
Basho in Juryo.
Holy cow.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. A lot of people falter their first time in Juryo because you're wrestling twice as often as in the lower divisions, and it's obviously a big step up in competition. But yeah, he got a 12-3, then a 10-5, and just said goodbye to that second division.
So his debut tournament in Juryo, he took the Yusho?
Yep.
Holy smokes.
Juryo 14.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
that's impressive.
This might be one of the first guys we've seen in the top division who debuted when we started watching or later.
Yeah, like debuted at Maizumo and
Yeah.
is now all the way up into Makuuchi.
We've only been watching maybe 2.5 years or so, and this guy
Aki
made
of
his
2016.
Yep, 16.
Oh, never mind. This guy has been wrestling for a year less than we've been watching
Yes.
sumo. Wow. Okay.
But yeah, so he is probably coming in with the most hype, and he is the highest ranked of the Juryo promotions. There's also Terutsu Yoshi, who is Maegashira 14. He is also 24 years old. He's making his Makuuchi debut kind of different than Tomokaze, who 2 years after. This is 9 years after his sumo debut. And he debuted at 15 years old.
Holy smokes.
That's about as young as you can do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is his 54th overall Basho. But once again, he's the same age as Tomokaze. It's just Tomokaze must have like gone to school and all that stuff. And then,
Yeah, he must have went to the university. I think his thing said the Nippon Science University for Tomokaze.
okay.
So obviously he would have
Nippon
been wrestling.
Sports Science.
He would have been wrestling in college, but he didn't do well enough in college to get that bump up to the mid Makushita ranks that college champions get.
Yeah.
And
Obviously, it didn't matter though.
Obviously, it didn't matter.
Yeah. He was definitely a talent in
Yeah.
sumo.
And I believe he's in the same stable as Yago and Yoshikaze. I believe. I could be wrong. Somebody else do some research for me while I talk about some other people.
But I was gonna-
nobody look it up.
No.
But I would say for Terutsuyoshi, where I think he has a nice kind of unique pre-sumo bout ritual, I believe, where he actually grabs. Most people grab like a little bit of salt or a moderate amount of salt and throw it into the dohyo to purify it.
Teritsuyoshi grabs all the salt.
Yes.
Is this all you have? Give me more.
Yeah, he definitely grabs a bunch to where he manages to hit at least a couple of spectators every time he throws. So it's something to kind of keep an eye out for.
Real quick correction: Tomokaze is in the same stable as Yago.
Yoshikaze not?
And Yoshikaze.
Yeah, Yoshikaze is
okay.
too.
Terutsuyoshi is in
Isegahama,
Isegahama,
right?
yeah,
The
which is
former Haruma Fuji and Terano Fuji.
right.
Terano Fuji, not former.
He's
but-
technically not
hey,
former
wait a
still.
minute.
Takara Fuji's another one in that stable.
Okay. And then Terutsuyoshi has also gotten a Makushita Yusho in his career. And then the last of the newcomers to Makuuchi, Daishoho, he will be at Maegashira 16, also 24 years old. He is making his Makuuchi debut 6 years after his sumo debut, his 38th overall basho, and he does have one Jonidan Yusho to his name. Don't know anything about this guy. Besides those three things that I just said.
I think it's kind of interesting. He spent 7 basho in the Juryo division compared to the 2 for Tomokaze.
Never losing record.
Never losing record. He just progressed as slowly as it is possible to do so without losing. 2 9 and 6s, and then 5 consecutive 8 and 7s. So he's like,
Dang.
I mean, you got to promote me, but
Yeah.
like not a whole lot.
If
Give
he
me baby
8 and
steps.
7s for the rest of his career, he'll be Sekiwake. So,
I suppose that's okay.
And just stop there.
and then we also have 2 guys that jumping up from Makuuchi from Juryo that have seen Makuuchi before. We've got Ishiura, little guy in the
He's
Miyagino
back.
stable, Hakuho stable, and Enho stable. He is back, so we'll see how long he'll stick around to putting the over-under at 2 basho for this trip.
How dare you?
Yeah.
Sorry, you think it should have
What's
been like
wrong with you?
1 basho?
Oh God! Have you seen the trapezius muscles on that guy? He's like a tiny. He's like a regular size guy with sumo wrestler size muscles, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorites. For
he
sure.
he is very fun to watch.
Yeah. I am super happy he's back.
Yeah. Always nice to have a little bit more Ishiura, therefore Hankas in your life.
I was about to say, we just root for the Hankas at this point.
or just normal size people.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, yeah.
That's kind of
Yeah,
exciting
all right,
too.
all
Yeah.
right.
And then the last person that's back up into Makuuchi is Toyo Noshima. And so if you're like us and have recently gotten into sumo the past 3 or so years, this name means absolutely nothing to you because he is back in Makuuchi for the first time since July 2016, which is the last basho before we started watching sumo wrestling. So we've never seen this guy in the Makuuchi division, but he is quite accomplished. I believe he's 35 years old. He's been in the Makuuchi ranks for a long time. He has 5 Jun Yusho. He has 10 special prizes and 4 Kinboshi. I believe he's a fairly highly respected member of the sumo community. I think there's a lot of old-timers that enjoy getting his opinion and enjoy his time.
Must have been an injury then that made him fall so far.
Yeah, he got injured. He missed 2 consecutive bashos that dropped him down to Makushita. Was reading something, I think it was on r/sumo Reddit thread where somebody asked, like, hey, what happens to married rikshi that go back down into Makushita? Like, do they have to give up their wives and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, because normally you have to be up to Juryo before you can be a sumo wrestler and get married at the same time.
And they said they pretty much, it's like, no, you're Sekitori, you're not having to do all this.
Yeah. You don't have to come back and do chores when you have like a home and
because
family.
they live like separately. Have a home and family, and it sounds like Toyo Noshima was pretty close to retiring, but his family were the ones that said, like, no, you love doing sumo wrestling, you should continue and fight back at Tamakauchi. And
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah.
That's awesome.
sounds like both his wife and kids were telling him that. So very inspirational story for Toyo Noshima. Hopefully his Makauchi comeback works a little bit better than Amanishiki, who recently had to come back. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see Toyo Noshima for the first time.
He's still 35, so
Yeah.
he's not Omnishiki
That's
levels old
ancient,
yet.
right?
Yeah.
Well, not compared to
Oh man,
Hamanishiki.
35. That's so old.
And then, of course, since we have people jumping up to Makauchi, that means we have people going down to Juryo, and that includes Kotoyuki, Dayamami, Daishomaru, which is only 3 people that are going down, but 5 people came up. How does that happen, you might ask?
Ryan, can you tell us?
I can tell you. It is because Kisei no Sato and Takanoiwa, as we have covered in depth in previous podcasts, have both retired, therefore opening up 2 more slots in the Makauchi division.
Wow.
Is
Crazy.
Kotoyuki healthy? Because he had that really
That's
bad
a
knee injury.
Good question, and honestly, I have no idea.
Haven't heard any news on him.
Him or Chio no Kuni, who I know also left with injury
Yeah,
in
and
the last
those
Basho.
both of those looked pretty bad.
Yeah. But then again, so did Mitake Yumi's, and we saw what he did.
Well, yeah, that was still stupid. In my opinion, that was just stupid.
You ain't wrong. And just to finish up, going over the Bansuke, I could see Fleric's eye starting to glaze over a little bit.
Yeah. Let's talk about some sumo. Like that's not just where they're at.
Hold on, we got a little bit more of where they're at. Just the biggest jumps that we saw, Kaisei is up 7 ranks, Endo up 8 ranks, Daisho up 5 ranks, Shohozan went down 7 ranks, and people at their career highs, like we said before, boy, Hokuto Fuji is at Komosubi, making his Sanyaku debut. Daisho is at Maegashira 2, his highest career rank. Yago at Maegashira 10 and Meisei at Maegashira 11 are all at their highest career ranks. Let's talk about some sumo.
Yes.
Hey, Flarek, wake up.
Oh yeah. I'm going now.
Okay, good.
All right, Flarek, Takakeisho.
I'm actually I'm yay Takakeisha now.
I've heard of him too.
Yes, that
No,
guy.
It was very open ended, but I interpret
He's still waking up. He's still waking up. Come on, Flarek.
I interpret that as in do you favor him as to do well in this basho? Because one of the biggest storylines coming in now is Ozeki runs. He is, after being kind of, in my opinion, snubbed of an Ozeki promotion in the last basho, he is definitely, a good performance in this basho would clinch that. No shadow of a doubt, he would get his promotion.
Yes.
So when I think about Takakeisho, is he going to get his Ozeki promotion? Is he going to do well? Yes, I am pro Takakeisho.
I agree with you. I think that now is probably his time. But the storyline coming in here was he had 33 wins over the course of 3 basho. And
With a
that is-
Yusho and a Junior.
with a Yusho and a
Yes.
Junior show, which in almost all cases should be like a guaranteed promotion to the Ozeki. But because it's a judgment call, he got, we think, snubbed. So if he gets 9 wins this time, he'll be in the exact same situation he was before. I think if he gets 10 wins, and especially if one of those is over one of the Yokozuna, I think he's a total lock, and I do think that he's going to get it. I believe in Takakeisho.
Yeah, I was a little iffy before because of his style, but he's just been
He's
proving
won
me
you
wrong.
over.
Yeah, he's
It's
just been proving me
amazing.
wrong. He's just keeps on looking dominant with his pushing style.
Yeah, and you mentioned his style. 203 career wins for Takakeisho, 1 by Yorikiri.
And Yorikiri is a type of winning maneuver that requires them to grab the belt
Right,
and
a
then
grab
push
hold.
the
Both hands on the
people
mawashi.
outside of the dohyo, and
That is the last thing Takakeisho ever wants to do,
or
apparently.
can do because he has tiny arms.
He
His
does have little
arms,
T-Rex arms.
They are just a blur when he is going, though.
But
Yes.
yeah, we would expect somebody at this rank to probably have out of 200 wins, maybe 80 Yorikiri or something like that. Nearing
a
sizable
sizable number.
Yeah, a ton of them for
Maybe
some
more than
people.
one.
Maybe more than
yeah.
one. Yeah.
I don't know. It's working out for Abi pretty well, though.
Yeah, Abi's another one, got that same sort of pushing first and nothing second style.
The targeted pushing right for the upper body.
But yeah, I'm thinking 10 wins is what he needs here. And he would totally seal the deal with a win over either Yokozuna. Hopefully the Yokozuna are actually going to participate, and we'll talk about that more later.
Yeah.
But that's totally one of the clinchers, I think, that would totally lock in his promotion.
Nope, agreed 100%. Nope, the Flair and Jake said it perfectly.
10 wins, you think, is the number?
And icing on the cake would be to beat the Yokozuna if they're healthy.
Yeah. And it does sound like Takakeisho had a little bit of a foot injury at the end of the Hatsu Basho. Didn't get a whole lot of press. That might have had something to do with his last day loss to Goedo, which is what the Japan Sumo Association said cost him the Ozeki promotion. It sounds like his foot...
Whoa. That's what it was?
Yeah.
A loss to Goedo? That's what said, oh, you lost to Goedo. Nope, can't promote you.
I think not only was it the loss to Goedo, but I think it was the fashion of the loss to Goedo because it was not competitive in the slightest. He got
it was
pushed
kinda
out
sloppy.
immediately.
But they're saying that about Goedo, the guy that does Henkas at the most terrible time.
He is also an Ozeki. Why am I the one defending Goedo?
I don't know. I'm enjoying this, though.
I don't know, but
I refuse to do this any longer.
I don't know, Mac. We're not on the council, so you can't really like, if you can, you got us convinced. We're good.
Yeah.
I've been on the suck it
that's all I'm
Goedo train since day one, and you don't got to convince me that he's trash and should be in Juryo. Really? Okay, that's might be pushing it a little bit, but
Maybe.
All right, moving on.
yes. Moving on to another possible Ozeki run is Mr. Tamawashi, kind of mirroring Takakeisho's Ozeki run from the last Basho, because he was 9-6 in the Basho before his Yusho win, which he had a 13-2 Yusho. Same exact as Takakeisho, the only difference being Tamawashi's 9-6 was at Maegashira 2, Takakeisho's was at Komusubi, and his Yusho win was at Sekiwake, whereas Takakeisho's was once again at Komusubi. I think that might be another reason why Takakeisho didn't get it, because he was at Komusubi for 2 ranks and his first Sekiwake Basho. They didn't want to necessarily promote him after only 1 Basho at Sekiwake.
That could be. Tamawashi's also got a win over Hakuho in the most recent Basho.
Same as Takakeisho.
Well, yeah, that's fair. But I think that win over Hakuho was they may weight it more because it was earlier in the Basho where Hakuho wasn't quite.
It was literally 1 day before Takakeisho's win.
Yeah, so it was earlier in the Basho. I don't know. I think that it looks better on paper, even though now we know that Hakuho wasn't
He was
in great
injured
shape
pretty
at
much
the end of that Basho.
After, I believe, the Hokuto Fuji match.
Plus, Tamawashi has a couple prizes to his name. He's got the Shuken Show and the Kanto Show.
Yep, same that Takakeisho had. I'm pretty sure he has the
Oh
Shuken
my
Show,
God, they were
Kanto
the exact
Show.
same two.
Oh,
Yep.
wow.
He is literally following.
Yeah, this is starting to get a little
footsteps.
eerie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that being said,
He's going to
What's
get
your
13
number?
and 2 and a Junior show. And then be
11
snubbed.
and 4.
11 and 4 and Junior show, then be snubbed promotion.
Possibly. What number do you guys put for Tamawashi to get promotion? So I think it's a different number than Takakeisho.
I think he needs 16 wins.
Oh, jeez. I think he only needs 9. With everything
Really?
that he's got, I think he's only going to need 9. That'll hit the 33. He's got the June U show. He's got the U show. He's got
That would only
3
get him
special
31.
prizes.
9 would only get him 31.
No, did I do my math wrong?
I think you were still looking at Takakeisho's.
Oh, was
Yeah,
it?
it's very
Yeah.
possible.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I was looking at Takakeisho.
He would need
Never mind.
11 to get to the 33.
Yeah.
Yep, thank you. There we go, 11.
I would be surprised any promotion after a 9 win, unless there was like 2 U shows before. I'll throw that out there too. Even if he hit the 33, it is still a judgment call, and I don't know. 9 wins just seems unsightly to me.
Well,
At the
depends on
end
the
of
number
it.
of prizes, I think. If he
If he
maybe.
wins, like,
I don't know. Subjective.
everyone above him loses everyone below him. I don't know.
Yeah, for me, I think that Tamawashi, his magic number is going to be the same as the same total as Takakeisho. I think he's got to get to 34, because if he gets to exactly 33, which is normally what we consider the cutoff, and they just snubbed Takakeisho,
Yeah.
I think it would be like super weird for them to promote one guy for not, for promote one guy and not the other guy in like eerily the exact same situation.
No, fair point. Fair point.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that I do think that Takakeisho is more likely to get it this time.
What we need to do when we're figuring out who's going to win this U show, who went 9-6 at Hatsu towards the top of the Bansuke, like Maegashira Komusubi ranks, that's going to tell us who's taking this U show. But
I'm on it. It looks like it might. Oh God, it's
Who?
Hokuto Fuji.
You knew he asked that for a reason, Jake.
I actually completely forgot.
He's
but-
pretending. He's pretending right now. He knew Hokuto Fuji got 9 and 6 for Megashira 2.
You heard it here first, people. Jake says Hokuto Fuji.
He's
going to
get the Kanto and the Shuken Show special prizes with a 13 and 2 U show, and then not get promoted
Yep, and then
in 2
get
more months.
snubbed.
I haven't heard anybody say a false statement yet.
Yeah, the numbers don't lie.
The numbers don't lie.
But for me, like I'm saying 10 wins is Takakeisho's number. That gets him 34 wins, 3 straight Bashos with double-digit wins, all in the Sanyaku ranks, 2 at Sekiwake. I think 10 wins should be good enough for an Ozeki promotion.
For Takakeisho.
For Takakeisho.
Okay.
At that point, if they snub him again, they got something against T-Rex Arms Takakeisho. For Tamawashi, I'm putting the number at 12. I think he also needs
12?
to get to 34. We just saw it with Takakeisho where he got 11 and it wasn't good enough. So I think to be absolutely sure, and Tamawashi might get the 11. They might feel differently about Tamawashi. He's 12 years older than Takakeisho. He's got
Will he lose to Goedo, though?
he might beat Goedo in those 11 wins. But I think to be absolutely sure Tamawashi gets that Ozeki promotion, he needs to get that 12th win. I think at that point, it would be hard to deny him. He does have that 9 and 6 at Maegashira 2, which makes me think that 11 wins won't be good enough. I'm with Fleric there. I think that 9 wins outside of the Sanyaku ranks does not an Ozeki run start.
So, yeah, I think we're all on the same page here. If both these guys finish up to their 34 wins over the last 3, I think we're all in agreement there. What if they both get 33 wins? Do you think anybody gets it?
I think Takakeisho would get it.
I think Tamawashi more than Takakeisho
I
because
agree.
Takakeisho, that would be 9 wins.
Oh,
Only
that'd be
for
9.
Takakeisho,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. So with the math, I changed my thing where I don't think so. I don't see an end of an Ozeki run at 9 deserving promotion.
So if Tamawashi gets his 11, which puts him at 33 total, you think that gets it?
I don't
It's
think so.
another double digit. It'd be close. It'd
Yeah.
be real iffy.
It'd be closer for Tamawashi to get it with 33 wins at 11 wins for his last one than Takakeisho with 9.
Yeah, I agree. But the precedence was just set with Takakeisho, where he was denied this promotion. So I think it's not very likely now.
Yeah, I think if they set the precedent in one Basho and then the very next one, the exact same situation pops up, yeah, I would agree. I don't think he'll get it if he's at exactly 33 unless he shows off some fancy moves, beats all the Yokozuna and Ozeki or something like that.
Yeah. And unfortunately, we haven't been watching long enough to see how much the Japan Sumo Association cares about precedent. So maybe it doesn't matter to them.
Give us time.
Depending how they feel.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to our Yokozuna, both of whom pulled out of the previous Basho mid-Basho after some injuries. We had Hakuho, started off 10-0, was looking pretty good, dropped 3 in a row, and ended up pulling out of the last 2 days, citing some severe knee pain that kept him up at night. He wasn't able to sleep.
They drained it, didn't they?
Yeah.
Didn't they drain a whole bunch of fluid from it?
Yeah, just doesn't sound like Hakuho's knee was in good shape. And then Kakuryu pulled out, I think, after a 2 and 3 start. And, I mean, just Kakuryu has got a myriad of injuries, I think. So you can cite any one of those.
As you'd expect from a long career, especially as a Yokozuna.
Yeah, I mean, you really can't blame any of these guys for having all these injuries. And Yokozuna have basically earned the right to be able to pull out of a Basho and come back as they please to a limit.
To a limit.
Like Kiseno Sato limit.
Hopefully a little bit sooner than the Kisei no Sato limit.
Let's hope nobody tests that for a while.
Well, Kakuryu is going to be getting pretty close if
Yeah. He did win two Yusho last year, though.
but since then he's pulled out a 3 out of 4.
Yeah, but 3 out of 4, but he still has one where he came in as double-digit win. We're not anywhere close to Kisei Sato.
Oh, no. But it is still, it's still in the
still
conversation, though.
Troubling because his previous 4 Basho, 3 wins, 3 losses, pull out, 10 and 5 finished it, completely missed Kyushu, and then 2 wins, 4 losses, then it pulled out. So it's not good. If he continues on that pace, if he has a 3rd straight one where he pulls out, obviously it's not nearly as far as Kisei no Sato went, but you got to start throwing that intai or retire word out there. At least threaten it.
A stern suggestion.
Yes.
Deliberation.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's way too soon. Like, obviously, he still has the same injury. He thought he got better. We'll see how the injury develops before we start going with that. I think once you see if it gets to the point where it's obvious his injury's not going to get better, like with Kisei, that's when the retirement should be happening. And I don't think that's clear with Kakuryu yet.
That's fair. Yeah, I think I did go back to just view his career as a whole here. He was doing great as far as injuries up until mid-2016 or so, and since then he has finished only 7 out of the 16 Basho since then. So it's not like Kisano Sato where he's missing 7, 8 in a row that he didn't finish or something like that. Mm-hmm. But it's still a long-term trend that can't keep up at this rate for too long.
Yeah, his entire 2017, he finished 1 Basho and either pulled out of or did not finish the other 5. The most wins in any of those, he had 5 wins and then pulled out towards the end. So, I mean, he's had a worse stretch than what he's currently on. Obviously, they gave him some leeway with 4 straight Basho without completing and having a poor record. So there's precedent for Kakuryu as well that he might have this Basho to do poorly. He might have the next Basho after that to do poorly before they start putting pressure on him. I think it was after that 4th Basho where they're like, hey,
maybe
do something, buddy.
Maybe wrestle a little.
So maybe Kakuryu has 2 more where he can kind of see where his injuries are at before getting some pressure on him.
He did do back-to-back U shows, though.
He did, but that's almost a year ago at this point.
True.
What have you done for us lately?
Dance for a sumo
This is
boy.
only the second tournament of the year.
I mean, isn't it kind of how it is?
Jeez. Man, Ryan, give the Yokozuna some credit.
I get angry when these people don't dance for me.
Yeah.
I'm not denying that he won back-to-back U show, but that's almost a year ago at this point.
It is to a certain point. You do have to put up results to keep the Yokozuna rank. I do agree with you that. I just say it's way too soon.
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, we can't just say, "Oh, he got back-to-back U show 5 years ago." He can't. We can't say that
it's not 5 years ago. It's 1 year ago. But I get the point.
Yeah.
It's it's a while ago.
Yeah.
He definitely has a new injury that he's trying to get figured out.
Yeah, and it sounds like he has been practicing. I've read a couple of reports on Twitter. All of my reports about people and their training, credit goes to @SumoFollower. He's a member of the Tachiai blog team. Mm-hmm. He does a great job of finding Japanese articles that talk about their training and putting them on Twitter so that people like me know what's going on.
Yeah, us monolingual peasants.
Yes, exactly. And that being said, I did have some notes about the Ozekis, or the Sekiwakes real quick. Takakeisho's been training against Ichinojo a lot, big guy, and he's been beating him more often than not.
Wait, okay, hold on. He was beating Ichinojo?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's not a huge
Was Ichinojo asleep?
I would assume for at least half of them, it is Ichinojo.
All right, just making sure.
The record is still out.
Yeah. And it sounds like his foot injury is doing better. There was one day where he was going up against Hakuho. Their Heias had a inter-Heia training session. I don't remember what that's called.
Ichiman, where the Ichiman gets together, the multiple stables that are...
Rengo something Keiko or something.
Something Keiko.
Something.
Mm-hmm. But Takakeisho beat...
We're professionals.
Believe it.
Takakeisho beat Hakuho the first time. And then Hakuho was mad, and so he beat him, I think, 11 straight times.
Nope.
And then
like Hakuho.
in that same session, he also beat Tamawashi 8 straight times as well.
11 straight times.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like him.
Yeah, that's Hakuho.
And as for Tamawashi, he took some time off of training for post-Yusho responsibilities.
Party.
Yeah. And right now he's training to get back into shape. I think I saw a quote that at this point it's too late to get into shape for Haru. He's kind of training to get into shape for Natsu.
Oh.
But I mean,
okay.
Takakeisho was in that same position last time, and we saw how he did. I'm assuming Tamawashi will probably be just fine.
Yeah, he could just be trying to trick everyone. Say, oh, yeah, I'm not playing to do too well this one.
Yeah. But yeah, Kakuryu, he's been practicing recently. The one full report that I saw on him, he went up against people like Yutaka Yama, people kind of that rank, and went 21-0 against them.
Mm-hmm. Winning every single match?
Yeah. And Hakuho's pretty much the same. He didn't start practicing until March 3rd because his knee is still feeling so-so, but I think he's only lost 1 or 2 matches in his Keiko that I've seen. And I think he was quoted as saying that pretty much he's going to be in.
Okay. Yeah, I remember reading something. He's a quote from Hakuho lately was like, if I can make it to Shenshiraku, which is the last day of the sumo basho, he injury free, that he thinks he can take it.
Yeah, the results will come if he makes it to the end.
There you go. That sounds right.
Yeah.
So
Thank you for getting me there.
Yeah. So it sounds like the biggest thing with Hakuho is like if he can stay not injured, which is the thing that sounds like got him on the Hatsu, the last basho, is he got injured after halfway through the basho.
Yep.
So if he can stay healthy, he's a very clear favorite.
I mean, what we've seen from him, duh.
That's fair. I think for him, injuries is basically the only factor because, there's a lot of guys where you can say, oh, if they're healthy, they can probably get like X number of wins or something. But for Hakuho, it's like if he's healthy, he will never lose.
Yeah.
Like he will, right, exactly. And it's kind of been proven in the time that we've seen him that he has been reported to be healthy. He just doesn't really lose.
Yeah.
His age is clearly not affecting his technique.
32 or 33, I think.
Yeah, it's not affecting his actual sumo. The only thing his age seems to be affecting is how often he gets these injuries.
Yep.
And how much the injuries affect him. It's not like he's deteriorating in any way that is not individual injury related.
Mm-hmm. So, Mac, having talked about our oft injured Yokozuna, will we have a Kakuryu Hakuho matchup on day 15, Senshuraku, for the first time since the Aki Basho in September?
I'm hopeful, yes. Because I think, like what Fleric was saying, I think that Kakuryu needs to start putting up, even though he did do well last year. It's like, no, we need to see a little bit more from him, and I think Hakuho is hungry for this basho. So yeah, definitely going to see some Yokozuna action.
Yep, I very much hope so.
That's about all we can say at this point. We hope so, because history has not proven well for a Yokozuna matchup on day 15 in the past year.
No,
they're definitely getting a little injury prone.
All right, before we move on to our next topic, I'm going to need Fleric to read a couple of Twitter movie names that we got from our fans.
All right, pull them up on the Twitter movie name screen, Jake.
All right, let me get our dedicated monitor ready.
Okay.
click.
You may proceed.
So we have at Bubby1974 with Rikishi Business.
Dixie Business.
Dixie Business.
A play off of a movie called Risky Business that Fleric has probably never heard of.
Yes, I have not.
We should have maybe filtered through these ones for jokes that Fleric gets for him to read.
Yeah. And the next
You're not
one,
a movie guy, really, are you?
the ones I've seen, but
Dragon Ball Z OVAs don't count.
okay.
All right, then never mind.
So next one we have is at Asaka Nomad.
I'm pretty sure Ask a Nomad.
Ask a Nomad.
He can't even read English.
And we have Citizen Kaisei.
Play off
Fleric
of
gets that one.
Citizen
I got that one,
Kane.
yeah.
Okay, all right.
That's a pretty good one.
I've seen that one.
All right, Mac, let's see how well you do.
At Cormac 70, one flew over the Kakuryu's nest, and never Kaisei, never again.
Those are pretty good ones.
Yeah, one flew over the cuckoo's nest, and okay, now I
Never
think
say never
Kaisei.
again.
Yes, never say never again. Yep.
That's like the most generic Bond movie title ever.
I was
Very true.
I didn't know 100% for sure if that was James Bond, but I had a pretty strong inkling.
Sean Connery, baby.
Tomorrow never says never dies.
Finger.
Speaking of fingers, Ozeki's.
Oh God.
Tochinoshin starring in Octofinger.
I'm not sure how it transitions, but damn it if it wasn't a solid transition.
Ozeki.
We're going with it.
Yeah, it's the best we have, Mac. So Tochinoshin is Kadoban, unfortunately. I think everybody's favorite Ozeki at this table. I think, has he overtaken Takayasu for everybody?
No,
They're pretty even for me, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
have to
kind of
go
even,
with-
I would
yeah.
kind of say.
Okay, my favorite Ozeki.
We were defending Goedo quite avidly earlier today.
I feel like I have to like Ueda more than you guys because you always shit on him.
It's kind of just like a meme at this point. I think Ryan's the only one with legitimate hatred for
I think
him.
so too.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But it's probably good to have somebody to counterbalance my extreme vitriol for Goedo. Because he's not as bad as I think he is. He's just not as good as anybody else
He's
thinks
an
he is.
Ozeki. That's like he has an undefeated tournament championship under his belt.
Yeah, like 3 years ago, anybody could do that.
Oh, God damn it.
We can pull out the stats. No, they can't.
Continue.
Tochinoshin is Kadoban. He got injured at some point. I don't remember when he got injured, honestly.
It was.
I think when he was born.
Well, yes, but this one wasn't it his hip before Hatsu even began?
Yes, yeah. It was before Hatsu. It was during his training that he got this newest injury. Thank you, Mac.
Because he was complaining. He goes, "Why? Why does this happen?"
Yes. And so he started off the Basho 0-5, and then he was Kyujo and missed the remaining of the tournament. And so he is Kadoban. If he has a second consecutive losing record, he will lose his Ozeki rank.
No.
And it doesn't sound like he has gotten to training too much until recently. It sounds like it's still been bothering him a little bit. He has started training a little bit with his stablemates Tochiozan, Aoyama. I don't really know how well it's been going, but hasn't been going for too long.
I think he's had winning records.
That's good.
So
I mean, it is only Aoyama.
It's only practice.
you mean future Yokozuna?
Yes.
Aoyama.
I do not. Yeah, we need all three of you guys to be over the top on Aoyama to recover from my Aoyama hate. But
we're there. Yeah.
yeah. Mac, Tochinoshin, at least 8-7. Yes?
Yes. I think he gets it. I think he pulls through and avoids dropping back down. I think he's going to do it. I'm hopeful. Okay, I'm hopeful. Please.
I'm pretty pessimistic.
Don't do it, Jake.
I want him to get it, but I don't know. If we had gotten a bunch more like stellar health reports on him, I'd be a lot more confident.
He's going to do it for
I
his
want
baby
him to
girl.
get it.
He's doing it for his baby, man.
Just saying, I'm kind of pessimistic. I'm kind of doubtful that he's going to pull it off.
His baby needs new shoes.
Well, yeah, she's growing. She grew right out of her old ones.
Yeah. Those new Air Jordans.
I need new shoes.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat as Jake. I'm kind of pessimistic
Oh,
as well.
not you two.
Yeah, it's he's just not showing the same dominating sumo in the last Basho, and like he said, I'm not hearing that he's fully recovered, so I'm just not convinced he can beat the 8 of the top 16 Rikshi
Yeah.
on the Bansuke. I want him to do it, but I'm just not convinced.
It's a tall order.
I'm more optimistic. I'm with Mac on this one. I think he can get to 8-7. We've seen him come back from being injured in a Basho. I think it was Nagoya where he was continuing his supreme form from the beginning of the year, where he did fantastically to start off next year, which got him the Ozeki promotion. He started off 5-0, was looking just as dominant in Nagoya as he had those previous 3 Basho, and then frickin' Tamawashi got him. And really, he's been recovering from injuries ever since then. I think as long as he is he hasn't been fully healthy since then, but he has pulled off 2 winning records since that injury. So I think as long as he is recovered enough to be able to go the full 15 days, I think he'll get the 8 wins that he needs to hold on to his record. I don't think he'll be back into the first half of 2018 Tochinoshin form, but I think he's good enough to get to 8-7.
That's right. He got injured during the Tamawashi Kotanage massacre.
Yes, the reign of elbow destruction.
How about Takayasu? He is still practicing a lot with former Yokozuna Kisei no Sato, current Oyakata Araiso. Been getting... I don't think he has been getting the better of Araiso.
Nope. That is not a good sign.
Yeah, Kisei still Araizo still has Takayasu's number, and he's winning more than losing.
That's true. I mean, they've been training together for like a decade now. I mean, like the guy who's clearly had the higher peak, Kisei no Sato, it could just be that he's got Takayasu's number, and like they've faced each other so many times that
Your shoulder blast is ineffective.
yeah, I don't know. It still seems it's not good to let that kind of a fact get out, though, that the guy who just retired because he couldn't maintain form is still beating you up. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little iffy, but we don't know how much Kisei is still training or not. Obviously, a little bit less than he was preparing to get ready, but like he probably we don't know how he's still freshly retired. So
Yeah,
he's still got some moves.
I'm sure it's not like he went from training and living the life 24/7 to just like sitting on his butt all day. Like I'm sure he's still training all the time, but like it's still you don't want that to happen. It's a bad sign, I think.
Yeah, and I think he's had training against other Nick and it sounds like he has a winning record against them. It might just be Kisei no Sato is not a good matchup for Araiso is not a good matchup for Takayasu. Sounds like he's healthy going into this Basho. He doesn't have the flu like he had going into Hatsu. That would hopefully help. What are we expecting out of Takayasu, our lone Ozeki without a Yusho?
Jin Yusho.
The Takayasu
that's got precedent.
The Takayasu special.
Takayasu special. He has inherited that from Kisei no Sato. I guess in my mind, I still think Hakuho, he's going to stay healthy and he's going to get the Yusho. And so he's definitely up there in the Yusho race. But I guess I just see him not beating Hakuho.
That's completely fair.
Hakuho's going to be as wily as he always is, bring that swagger that he always does to the ring, and it's just, Takayasu's just not going to measure up.
Yeah, I'm less pessimistic about Takayasu than about Tochinoshin, but I feel like we've seen it so many times where he's been in the Yusho race to start with, and then just like peters off as the matches get harder. I don't know. Well, I think it won't be until like day 7 or 8 where we really have any idea if Takayasu's going to stick around up top.
All right, and since we're talking about Ozekis, we should talk about Goeido. I will say a Goeido neutral statement and then let you guys go from there.
This is going to be painful for you, isn't it?
If he has a winning record this Basho, it'll be his most consecutive winning records as an Ozeki with 5 in a row. That is all I will offer to this Goeido conversation.
That's not great, but it's not terrible, I suppose.
You said it, not me.
I see.
Is that?
Oh, wow.
Let's compare that to Takayasu.
Yeah. Takayasu does not have nearly as long of a career at Ozeki, but we can. So he is currently on a string of 1, 2, 3,
He's
4.
also on a streak of 4.
Yeah. And before that, when he started, so Takayasu's only ever had 3 in a row as an Ozeki. Looks like Takayasu's are due to injuries. Goeido certainly had his fair share of injuries, but he's also had a 5 and 10 as Ozeki, 7 and 8, 4 and 11, where he competed the whole time.
He's stuck with it.
He has stuck with it.
Yeah. So,
what do we expect out of Goeido this Basho?
the Goeido special 8 and 7.
8 and 7, 9 and 6.
8 and 7.
It could just be another case like if we have the both current Yokozuna are iffy. I don't know. He got a 15-0 once when the Yokozuna were out. He's also crapped the bed when the Yokozuna are out.
It's Goeido. Who knows?
Yeah.
He won the very first tournament we started watching and hasn't won since.
Oh my God, this guy's a monster. Whoa, wait.
Well,
never mind.
Retract that statement.
Yikes.
All right. So we have a Kadoban Ozeki who could drop from the Ozeki ranks. We have 2 Sekiwake who are on potential Ozeki runs. I'm going to blatantly steal this poll question from the Tachi blog from Twitter about a month ago. How many Ozeki will there be in the Natsu Basho? Currently 3. How many will there be in Natsu
4.
in May? Who do you got?
Takakesho.
And then the 3
And then the 3
existing.
that are currently there. I think Goeido's going to manage Akachi Koshi. I think Tochinoshin's going to do it. And Takayasu might be pulling that junior show. Maybe. But I think by the time Natsu rolls around, we'll have 4.
I'm going to go with 3 again because I'm pessimistic on Tochinoshin. I think it's more likely than not he's going to lose it. And I also think that of Takakeisho and Tamawashi, I think one of them will get it. But I think it would be a stretch to say both. So my guess is going to be 3. And I think Takakeisho is the more likely one to replace Tochinoshin than Tamawashi is.
Yeah. I think the exact same thing. I think Takakeisho is going to get the wins that Tochinoshin needs to win. Like one of their matches is going to be the clincher, and I think Tochinoshin is going to drop, unfortunately.
I'm with Mac. The exact same thing. 4 Takakeisho and then the 3 existing.
So 4. That's a lot of wins.
That's one more than we picked.
Is there going to be someone, one of the current,
Very good, Jake.
is one of the current Ozeki going to be Kadoban?
Goeido.
Goeido?
Goeido will be Kadoban. Go. If
One last
history-
shot in.
If history proves anything, it's that he can't get winning records in more than 4 Basho in a row as an Ozeki.
It's true. Numbers don't lie.
And he's been Ozeki long enough for that to be a pure pattern.
Statistics.
Exactly. All right, let's drop down to Komusubi. Let's talk a little bit about Mitaki Yumi and how, as older people, we see him as like a young kid and just how disappointed we are in him.
Are we?
We are.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
for coming back from that injury.
I'm bitter about
He did do
that
one
part,
match.
yeah. Okay.
Yes.
That decision, once he got his 8th win last time after coming back from injury.
Stop.
Shut up, dude. Just sit down. Just quit it.
Yeah.
Don't hurt yourself worse.
So could you explain what the situation was he did last Basho, Jake?
Yeah, so he started off pretty solid.
On fire.
Yeah, Mitake Yumi.
He
was
looked
doing
like the
amazing.
best.
It looked
in
like
that
$1 million
Basho.
for 5 matches. And on day 6, he got his first loss. I'm going to bring up the records, the specific records. Let's see. So that loss was to Miyagiryu. And then after that, he sat out for day 7, 8, 9, and 10. He was done. He
was
was
his
not
knee. He
expected
injured
to
his
come
knee.
back. Yeah, I mean, anytime you hear knee injury, it's like, well, he's done this time.
Well, and we didn't see anything physical. It didn't buckle. It didn't do anything. So you knew it was an internal injury.
The scariest, yeah.
Yes, the scariest of knee injuries. But on day 11, he came back, which was kind of an odd choice because it was against Hakuho, where he's got a 3-7 career record against Hakuho, 2-7 at the time.
Not bad for
As far as a record,
You know,
as far as those go,
true.
that's not terrible.
better than like 1-27 for Tochinoshi.
But he came back against Hakuho and pulled off at the time what felt like a miracle because we didn't know that Hakuho
It was
had
a
that
miracle.
Well, okay, it was, but like that was when we didn't find out until after that match that Hakuho had been nursing a more
Fair
serious
point,
injury
fair
than
point.
we thought. But he won against Hakuho, and that was his 7th win. It was like, oh my god, this is amazing.
That was his 6th win.
It's his 6th win, and we're like, oh my god, that's amazing. And then the next 2 days, on one leg, essentially, he beats Tochi Ozan and Ichinojo and gets his 8th win with 2 days to spare.
Yeah, and I think it's very important to note that he looked good. He got quick, like, shove-out victories, and then as soon as the match was over, just, like, could barely walk.
Hobbling,
It was very
badly.
obvious what was injured and that it was bad.
Yeah.
And then he had his 8 wins, secured his spot. He wasn't going to get demoted below Komusubi. And then for whatever reason, decided he wanted to wrestle 2 more times, including against Takayasu, one of the Ozeki. And everyone at this table, I know we're on the same page. We are baffled by that decision. He looked terrible. He looked like he was getting hurt worse. He lost to Takayasu and then also to Nishikigi. And what was there to gain?
Nothing.
Yeah,
Really nothing.
maybe
We
some
already saw the
props.
Sekiwake having great performances in
Yeah.
the spa show. We knew he wasn't going to jump up to Sekiwake. There was nothing to gain. Even with the 8 wins and then the 2 losses on the days after that, he still got a special prize. So if he had pulled out, probably still would have gotten that special prize that he's got.
Yeah, so like, let's say he gets 10 wins. Let's say he beat Takayasu and Nishikigi on the last 2 days. That doesn't even get him the Jun Yusho.
No, it
So,
gets him
like-
exactly where he's currently ranked. Possibly the start of an Ozeki run. Maybe that's what he had his sights on.
Yeah, but the one before that, he had a 7-8 record. So
That's why I
don't
said
know.
the
It's
start of an Ozeki run.
Yeah, sorry, but that's I don't know. We're all baffled by it, but that the mindset that you have to wrestle and you have to win every time, that competitive mindset, to be fair, is part of what's gotten him as far as he's gotten.
True.
But damn it, dude, why? That was
No, it's still baffling. Still baffling.
Especially from what we've been hearing is that his knee is still hurting and he's not looking too good.
Yeah, he has not practiced with any Sekitori so far. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah, he's still got lingering issues with that tendon injury that he suffered. And the latest that I've seen, he has had no sumo practice with Sekitori, and he said that I'm impatient, but I have to settle for basics for now.
That is not a good sign.
No, but to be fair, Mitake is legendarily bad in practice reports before Bashos.
True.
And we saw how he did, like, right after his injury. He was able to beat Hakuho and pull off 3 wins after that injury, maybe with 2 months of rest. It won't be perfect, but maybe it seems like he can pull himself together pretty damn well on the dohyo to put out an impressive performance. Maybe he can do well enough that he gets another Kachikoshi without further injuring that leg.
That's pretty key. Yeah, because I mean, we don't want to see him not give this injury the attention it deserves, the time, the healing. I don't know. Kisano Sato is still too fresh in our memories to you can't just power through every single injury.
Yeah, and Mitake Yumi is legit future Ozeki if he's healthy. I don't think any of us think otherwise on that.
As long as that leg stays attached to his body, he's got a great shot at that.
Yes. The other Komusubi, Hokuto Fuji, is making his Sanyaku debut. I'll try to keep my feelings to the minimum here.
No. Let it out, Ryan.
I think we've already gone over it. 13-2 Yusho all the way. Choo choo.
13-2?
13-2.
Choo choo. Train has no brakes.
Yeah.
Who did you lose to?
A surprising one to Nishikigi.
Wait, what?
I was just going to say that. I really got that vibe.
Okay.
Yeah, and then he's going to be going up against Tochi Noshin towards the end, day 14-ish. And
It's going to be like 14-14 on the last
and
day.
Tochi Noshin's going to be like 7-6,
Okay.
and at this point it's day 14. Hokuto Fuji, he's already got the Yusho wrapped up. He's like, Tochi Noshin, let's keep you at Ozeki. He just falls for
some yacht match fixing going
a
on.
little bit.
Okay.
So yeah, the
little
surprise to
dishonorable.
Nishikigi, and then just kind of pulls up at the edge of the Tawara to let Tochi Noshin get that win over him.
Pats him on the back and say, "You're welcome."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Or maybe he
twinkle in
gets,
his eye.
or maybe he gets Ichinojo on an even numbered day or something where he shows up and yeah.
Also, that is a possibility. He's done pretty well against Ichinojo recently. But yeah, I'm super excited to see Hokuto Fuji finally in the Sanyaku ranks. Obviously, he is my favorite sumo wrestler. Very excited to see how he will do. He's been doing fairly consistently well at the top of the Maegashira ranks. He stumbles every once in a while. He made it to like Maegashira 1 around this time last year, but then he got an injury, dropped him all the way down to Maegashira 16. He's fought his way all the way back up to Maegashira 1, had a 7-8 record down to Maegashira 2, then a 9-6, and then he's back to Maegashira 1, and got that 9-6 back to Komosubi, so he can win at this rank. And really, the competition isn't going to be any different at Komosubi than it is Maegashira 1, so I see there's no reason why he can't get a winning record and stay in the Sanyaku ranks.
I just wanted on the record that I'm a little freaked out that you did that by memory. I mean, I know that you have that weird.
It's a quirk. It's a weird quirk.
That's a nice word for it. But Ryan has the steel trap mind exclusively for sports statistics.
Yes. I wish it extended beyond that reach, but it absolutely does not. Ask my wife. So what are your guys' expectations for Hokuto Fuji this Basho?
He's gonna wrestle.
I'm not going to give you what you want and talk about how great he's going to do. But I'm pretty sure he's going to do pretty well.
Yeah, that's right.
He's gonna do sumo. I think that's pretty much what he's gonna do.
Thank you, Mac.
You're welcome.
No, I agree with you. He's been showing to put up some good matches.
I agree with Mac. He is going to do sumo.
There we go.
Is he going to gambarize? Is he going to do his best?
hey.
Is he?
That's my team name.
Is he going to take it one day at a time?
Is he? Let us know.
What? Yes, I know your team name's the Gambarizers for Fantasy Sumo. What do you want out of me, Mac?
He wanted you to acknowledge it. Now we can move on.
Okay.
Yes. That was it. That's all I wanted.
All right. So no, I'm with you, Ryan. Actually, on this, he's going to get 13-2.
Okay.
No, he's been showing some good matches at the top of the top 16 in the Joy. So, and he's coming off a 9-6. I think he's probably going to stick around.
And he has a history of beating the Yokozuna. He has 5 Kinboshi.
That is true.
Yeah.
I'm optimistic, like I said before, but I just want to remind everyone that his last 2 Bashos, he went 7-8 at Megashira 1. Well, obviously, like Ryan listed off from memory here, he went 7-8, and then he went 9-6. But that 9-6 was with 2 consecutive Fusen victories. Ooh, yeah. In between,
I forgot
in
about
between
those.
a loss of or a streak of 4 losses of actual matches. So 2 losses, 2 Fusen wins, 2 more losses. I don't know. I'm optimistic, but I'm not thinking he's going to get more than 9.
That's a very good point. I forgot about that.
Honest opinion, I think about 9-6 is probably where he's going to be
There
at.
you go.
With 3 Fusen wins.
Hey, take him out, you can get him.
Yeah.
Hey,
So-
if he does that, that's improving on his previous one.
That's true.
His previous Basho. So
One of those losses to Hakuho was slight BS. I think that was one of the BS Hakuho losses.
Hakuho
still
did
lost.
get a couple
Yeah.
gimmies.
He
Not
still
gimmies.
lost, but it was very close to a Hokuto Fuji win. And then the 2 losses after the 2 Fusen wins can just simply be chalked up to ring rust.
Wait, what? Ring
yeah.
rust?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
It's a straw bale.
Fine, straw rust. It's a thing. Look it up.
Straw rust. Yeah, that is a thing. Of course.
All right, so we've got newcomer Hokuto Fuji to the Sanyaku ranks. We've got Sanyaku stalwart Takayumi, but an injured one. Which one puts up a better record?
Hokuto Fuji.
Yeah, Hokuto Fuji.
I'm just kind of iffy on Mitakeumi from what I've been hearing. But who knows? He could prove us all wrong. So it kind of depends on how injured Mitakeumi actually is.
Yeah.
I'm totally with you. I think it's more so my skepticism about Mitakeumi's health than it is my faith in Hokuto Fuji's coming out party or something, as you could say in Sanyaku. I don't think it's going to be that huge of a basho for Hokuto Fuji, even if I do think he's going to do pretty well.
Yeah. That now that you mentioned those two Fusen, which are kind of free walkover wins, he only won 7 matches actually in last basho, which is not enough for a winning record.
Well, he went 7-6 in actual matches.
Yes, he
So he
won.
still had
Still had a winning record
Yeah, he had
in
one
matches
record,
that he competed in.
but he did. But he did not win 8. So,
But we don't
I'm a little
know
more
what
iffy
would
on
have
this.
happened in those 2 matches. So I think you can
Okay,
only judge
Ryan's
him.
getting revved up.
So
here.
I'm just going to
Lord.
sit down and I think. Yeah, well, I guess we're talking about Mitakeumi.
You already said Hokuto Fuji was going to do better. Let's move on.
I'm off the train.
All right.
Oh god.
So we haven't really hit on the Maegashira ranks too much, except for the newcomers. Any of these guys jumping out at you that you think is going to have a breakout performance?
Endo.
Endo?
I think so.
We've seen him at the Komosubi rank before. Recently, then he got injured and came back down and has fought his way back up to the Maegashira 1 rank. Who is going to be... Do you think he gets into Sanyaku next basho?
Maybe not this one, but definitely I would say within the next couple, he'll be back in the Sanyaku.
Okay.
This one's still kind of iffy just because of who you have in front of him and who you've got behind him. I still think Kaisei is in excellent form. There are a lot of other guys that he's going to have to compete with. So next one, maybe, but definitely in the next couple.
Yeah, I was going to say something similar there. I think I'm a little bit more on the Kaisei train than the Endo train, but I think both of those guys are on pretty hot streaks. The thing that I would be hesitant to say they're going to move into the Sanyaku ranks, though. I think that Mitakeumi is the only one that I think is more, the one I'm most skeptical about. And the other 3, Takakeisho, Tamawashi, Hokuto Fuji, I'm leaning towards, I think those guys are probably going to do okay. At least get winning records. If there's only one slot open to move up, I think at this point I favor Kaisei for it.
Honestly, for me, if I think a slot in the Sanyaku ranks is going to open up, probably Hokuto Fuji most likely. I'm going to say second most likely is Tamawashi. It's not been too long, maybe 3 bashos ago, where he was 4-11, facing off against these same people that he's facing this basho. I don't know if maybe he was injured, but we just haven't seen the consistency out of him to stay in the Sanyaku ranks consistently without dropping down to Maegashira for a basho or 2. Maybe having such a great record this previous time and having the responsibilities of a Yusho winner taking away from his training, maybe that's just enough so that Tamawashi doesn't.
It's a lot of
stay in
fish. Yes,
Sanyaku.
it's a lot of fish he has to eat.
Exactly. I mean, his arms are going to be tired from lifting all this fish
And macaroons.
and gigantic
Or
macaroons.
singular, but really
Singular,
heavy
but
one.
Yes.
So to follow up on this, so do you think Tamawashi's actually going to have a losing record this basho?
It would not shock me in the slightest. And if I were a predicting betting man, I would put money on.
You are that.
Which you are.
Yes.
Yeah,
You try to get us to put money
I-
down every time we do this.
that's fair. I would not bet on Tamawashi having a losing record.
You're just saying it wouldn't surprise
It
you.
wouldn't surprise me
Okay,
in
that's
the
fair.
slightest. And if I had to put money on him, put money on who does in the Sanyaku ranks have a losing record, he'd be the second one I would.
All right. So would you put money on him getting Ozeki promotion? No.
I do not see Tamawashi getting Ozeki.
Okay. So you put money on him not getting that. So,
Correct. Yes, I would.
How much money are you giving us?
Yeah.
I heard no.
That's interesting. I didn't know you were so anti Tamawashi. I don't know where I kind of fall on that. I feel like he would do pretty well, but I'm kind of feeling the exact same thing. Like I don't know. Like some people have to lose. Like not everyone can win. And right now I'm kind of looking at
Hot take.
Yeah, I know. Really? It's normally I'm definitely looking at make sure 1 through 4 as the guys who aren't going to be winning that much, but.
I'm
can
not
see
seeing a lot of
Tamawashi
names that
getting
impress
there.
me in those ranks.
And the 1 through make sure 1 through 4.
Megashira 2 through 4. I
Endo
have
with
faith.
Kaisei?
I have more faith in Kaisei and Endo than I do in Daisho, Miyagi-Do, Nishiki, and Shodai.
Yeah, I'm with you. Except I also extend the Kaisei and Endo as well.
Okay.
I don't see him getting too many wins. So
Okay.
it's gonna be interesting how it goes. But I kind of agree with you. I think Tamawashi looks vulnerable this Basho.
Do you got any Maegashira you are keeping your eye on?
No, all hot garbage.
Except for future Yokozuna Aoyama.
Oh,
Yeah.
indeed.
I think
Indeed.
he's primed for a breakout performance.
If we're talking the whole entire Banzuke, you got me hyped up on Tomokaze after looking at his records.
Yeah, I knew he had come up pretty quick, but when I was looking at that, I'm really excited to watch Tomokaze this Basho and see how he does.
I like on that note,
And
Terutsu Yoshi.
Yoshi.
Yeah, just more so for the he's very exciting in the ring too. He's a guy that
He's another little guy in the vein of Ishiura and Enho, which we'll get. Let's just drop down to Juryo right now. Enho is at Juryo 2.
Woohoo! Yeah.
And
But wait,
if he continues,
who's Juryo 1?
Juryo 1 is Shima no Umi.
And
Chiyomaru.
woohoo!
But yeah, Enho had another 9-6 record, I believe, his third straight in Juryo. And if he continues that 9-6 trend,
the numbers don't lie.
We could very well be looking at Natsu for Enho Makuuchi debut. And how excited would we all be to see our little boy Enho in
Get
Makuuchi?
trashed in the top division.
Well, we don't know that.
We
but
don't know. That's true. He did get
he's scrappy.
trashed.
He's scrappy, man.
He got trashed in his first try at Juryo though.
True.
So
Okay, that
He
is
did.
true. That is true.
oh well. But
But-
no, either way though, I think Enho is definitely somebody to he's definitely going to be towards the top as far as people to keep an eye on as far as exciting matches, important storylines. He and Shima Naomi, I think, are probably the top two guys that are in the running for a Makuuchi spot in the next Basho.
Well, I mean, I would say everybody ahead of Enho. is
Yeah,
in
I'd
line
give it
for
Mac
that
just
spot.
gave me an awful face because of
How dare you go against
I skipped over Chiyomaru.
How dare you?
And Koto Yuki.
And Kotoyuki, that's true.
Yeah, but I hate Koto Yuki.
I mean, that's fair. It's too bad that Koto Yuki isn't like highly ranked, so we can't talk about him all the time. So we can have somebody else besides me that hates somebody.
That has strong
Yeah.
negative opinions.
Because, like, Mac, do you dislike any Dixie?
Oh, no.
Ed Flair, who do you dislike?
Everyone below Maegashira wants hot garbage.
That's a good line to draw.
I used to be on the Teruno Fuji hate train just because of what he did to Koto Shogiku, but Flarik made me see the error of my race with error of my ways with that one.
That's a good time to transition over to Mr. Teruno Fuji. We'll get back to some other top of the Juryo talk.
Oh yeah, I just want to bring up more guys that I hate.
Oh yeah,
I got a couple.
That's completely fair. I'm all about talking about people we hate. Teruno Fuji sounds like he will finally be back in wrestling condition this Basho, and
Heck yeah.
the former Ozeki will be competing in Jonidan.
That's
the
crazy.
second lowest sumo rank. I believe that's the one with the most ranks, where it's like 140 ranks or something like that. That might be Sandanme. I don't fully remember.
He's still continuing to break his own record of the farthest an Ozeki has ever fallen without retiring.
Yes. He has been quoted as saying, in regards to his injury, if I don't overcome this, I am not a man. And as far as his expectations are for wrestling in Jonidan, he said, winning is important, but even doing the whole 7 bouts is huge. Those around me may think that being in Jonidan means the Yusho is a given. I don't.
I don't either.
Especially when you say stuff like that.
No kidding.
Well, I like that he's not just saying that, yeah, I'm going to win the Yusho. Why wouldn't I? I'm a freaking Ozeki.
That comes off as a bit of a humble brag to me. Like he's trying to sound humble by saying, "Oh yeah, everybody is saying that I should win the Yusho for sure, but I'm staying humble."
I think he should win the Yusho
Yeah.
for sure, as long as he's healthy.
As
We'll
long-
see.
But
We'll
he's
see.
not though. He
exactly.
hasn't been
He's
healthy in
not
like
healthy.
3 years or something. Like it's. I don't
He's
know.
not wrong.
It's
No, it's not 3 years, but I think
you're right.
kinda-
It's like 10.
yeah. It's kind. I don't agree that it sounds like a humble brag. I guess I think
Okay, that's fair.
because I think people are probably everyone's saying that about him.
Yeah.
Like if
Ryan's
you're enjoying
saying
that,
it.
I don't. Why
So,
are
like,
people
he's-
saying that though? Because
Because he's a former Ozeki competing in Jonidan.
if
Yeah,
he's
but you could've-
relatively healthy,
you could have said that the last year.
True.
But
That's true.
he wasn't competing.
Yeah, he was definitely injured.
Yes.
Now we know that he's competing.
He has been competing, not every time, obviously, but he's
I don't
competed
think he's
in several.
competed. I don't think he's competed since
He's been
Juryo.
out since Juryo.
He hasn't wrestled in Makushita or Sandanme.
I'm going to bring it up, but
But we're right.
He hasn't gotten a win in the ring in ages, and
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's it's
Premature to
Premature.
say that he's going to get
it's
it.
premature to say that because I don't think he's going to go from can't wrestle whatsoever to 100% healthy.
I
think that's or even
not
like
gonna
With you too. And
I
that's
think that's why I'm so strongly saying that I think it's silly to say that the U show is a given or that other people are saying that. That's the only reason I'm saying it that way.
I'm with you too, and I think that's the correct mindset that he should have is to
I
take
think
it
it's-
one battle at a time, do his best, and
Do his brand.
Dude,
of
I do
sumo.
think
Do
that
his
is the
brand of
correct
sumo.
mindset for him to have. Because I think if he goes in with the mindset of, oh, yeah, I'm going to dominate and win this, and then he loses one, that could crush him mentally. Whereas if he goes in with the expectations like, dude, I just want to do 7 matches. I just want to freaking compete. And then if he can do that, that's a goal that he can build off of. If he happens to win the U show, yay, good for me. But I think it's a very healthy mindset, and the best mindset for him to have is not like, oh, yeah, I'm going to dominate these punks.
yeah, I entirely agree.
Yeah, I went back to look at it. It's in mid 2017 is when he got only one win and pulled out of 2 consecutive bashas while he was in Ozeki. Then he was a Sekiwake, which is where you drop down if you lose your Ozeki rank. You get a chance at Sekiwake. He went 0-4 and then sat out for a while. And then he went 0, 8, and 7 absences in the next one. The only wins he's gotten in the last couple of years here are 6 wins that he got at the beginning of 2018 in Juryo. But you're right. The next Basho, he lost a handful and sat out a handful and hasn't wrestled since he was in Juryo. So that's 4 straight where he hasn't even showed up at all.
Yeah. So one would think that since he decided to actually show up, that he's relatively healthy. Like he thinks he can win some matches.
Well, relative is the key word
We'll
there.
see.
And
We'll see what happens.
it is Jonidan, so the competition down there is definitely far below what he's used to up in the Makuuchi ranks. So I think
This guy
even
is-
a half healthy Terano Fuji should be pretty competitive. At
And I think
Jonidan.
that's an optimistic opinion of where he's going to be. But I don't know. I would love to be proven wrong, but I don't know. I'm super pessimistic there.
I think I'm in the same boat as you. At least with when he's saying stuff like that, it makes me think that he doesn't think he's 100% yet. He might have some high standards, but I agree that he's probably not going to be dominating if he's saying stuff like that.
He is really setting himself up, though. If he loses like his first 2 or something like that, he's really setting himself up to be done after that. If like officially retire if he can't win at all.
And it's possible, yeah.
All right, before we move on to a little bit more Juryo news, let's go over some more movie titles that we really, really liked but didn't quite win the fantasy tournament for us. We had at AM Hilton 4, and he offered us the really, really, really big Lebowski.
That was one of my favorites.
Yes. And we also had at Liam Loves Sumo. He offered a couple of good ones for us, a Clockwork Okinoumi, Goedo Fellas, and Saving Private Ryuden.
Those were all good.
Goedo fellas.
Goedo fellas.
All right, and then just a little bit more Juryo news. We are going to... Fleric, why don't you read this bullet point for us?
You want me to read something off
Yes.
the screen?
Yes.
What?
All right. So we got Enho at J2.
Under that one.
Makuuchi.
Under that one.
Oh, I see what's going on.
You're mean.
All right, so
You're mean.
we have a newcomer. We have. Oh my goodness. Really? Okay.
Sorry, computer issues. That one wasn't his fault.
All right. So we have a new Rikshi join Juryo. We have Wakamoto Haru,
There you go.
who is Wakataka Kage's brother.
Yes.
Wakataka Kage is been a mainstay at Juryo for a while. So he actually had his brother join in Juryo. So it's he actually has 2 brothers who are in sumo. So this is kind of a really cool event. They just now need their oldest brother, Wakatakamoto. Did I get that?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
I gave
yeah,
a thumbs
you
up
got it, you got it.
to get there as well. He's at Makushita 24th, and so hopefully they can get up there so we can just say a lot of waka taka kaka taka over and over again.
And you had it there till the end, but
Yep.
then Ryan gets the point for tying your tongue up.
Yeah. So
All right.
that's really cool.
And some of the other guys that we've been following, Hoshoryu is at Makushita 7. And so if maybe he gets 7-0 Yusho, we should see him up in Juryo the next Basho. I think anything below that, maybe a 6-1 might get him to Juryo.
Yeah, maybe.
But I think
I
it has to be 7-0 to
I
get him up
checked
to
the
Juryo.
stats. 6-0 hasn't, at least in the last 7
6-1?
years. Yeah, 6-1s.
Okay. So yeah, typically if you want to get up to Juryo without a Yusho win, you need to be in like the top 6 ranks of Makushita, I think.
Even probably more up than that, but yeah.
Yeah. Naya is at a career high rank in Makushita, like 41 or 42-ish. I don't have that right in front of me. Musashi Kuni is right around that range as well in Makushita. He's slightly above Naya, mid-30s-ish. And then Waka Ichiro is back in Sandanme after he's the bottom of Sandanme at Sandanme 99 after an impressive 5-2 record in Joni Dan. And so those are all the guys at the bottom that we track. And so before we take a break, how about we have Jake read a couple more of our favorite movie titles?
All right. At Brendan1836 sent us Avengers Endo Game.
I'm very much looking forward to that movie.
Yeah, and One Lost Muffin gave us The Hunt for Red Onosho.
I love that one. That one's good.
This was probably my favorite contest we've had so far.
For those of you that may
These are
have
a lot
not
of
been
fun.
watching, Onosho changed his Mawashi at one point, and he just did
yeah.
awful.
Oh, yeah. No, there's layers to
one.
this one.
Oh yeah, no, that one's deep.
Maybe
So-
some unintended layers.
Yeah, well,
I don't.
not.
I don't.
No.
All layers are intended with Sumo.
Yes.
But yeah, so Onosho at one Basho, he switched to a black Mawashi, was it? He lost 5 in a
Purple one,
row
yeah.
or something like
Yeah.
that.
Then
And then he
back
switched
over
back to
red.
his classic red and only lost one more match. Something like that, yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and then we will come back with our prediction series, fun facts, fantasy, ELO, and then we'll say goodbye.
The Sumo Vault opens once again to bring you this timeless classic, Goedo Fellas.
You're chubby. You're really chubby.
What do you mean I'm chubby?
You're chubby. You're a chubby guy.
What do you mean? The way I walk? What?
You're just chubby. The way you flop around and everything.
Chubby how? What's chubby about me?
Wait, no. You got it all wrong.
Whoa, Tamawashi. He's a big boy. He knows what he said. What'd you say? Chubby how? What?
Yeah, just, you're chubby.
You mean, let me understand this, because maybe it's just me. I'm chubby how? Like I'm a cow? I outweigh you? I shake the ground? I'm here to outweigh you? I'm chubby how? How am I chubby?
I don't know. How you flop around. What?
No, I don't know. You said it. How do I know? You said I'm chubby. How the am I chubby? What the is so chubby about me? Tell me what's chubby.
Get the flab out.
This guy! I almost got him! You stuttering fatso here! Mitaki Yubi, was he shaking? I wonder about you sometimes, Taka Keisho. You may fall in the Yusho race yet.
Coming soon to Scotty Karate's bootleg DVD stands near you.
All right, we're back with some more close but no cigar movie titles. At Basho and Tell offered us No Country for Aminishiki. Ooh. Truly the old man of the Sekitori. At El Zeno1 sent us The Color of Kensho.
Good pull. I like it.
Yes. And then we did have one that was very popular with the people. We had at Wow Juliana, at Zuto Akogare, and at Cormac70, who all offered us some form of Dayamami Mia.
Here we yago again.
Here we yago again.
Oh, that's great.
All right, that being said, it is time for the Grand Sumo Breakdown Prediction Series. Who won last time? I can't quite remember.
So moving on.
It wasn't
now.
memorable.
Let's go. Let's
It wasn't
go away.
important. It was about who played.
Yes, and I played and won, and you all played and lost.
So we tied for
I had company at the bottom this time.
So me, Mac, and Fleric. So yeah, all three of us, Jake, Fleric, Mac, all three of us crapped the bed, got last place, tied for it. So we had to settle how we were going to order our picks for our prediction series beforehand, because normally we just go like loser picks first and so on. But yeah, that was a good time. We don't need to talk about it, but we settled it.
I believe the mud wrestling tournament was very nice. I think the bikinis were a very nice touch.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed that, and Mac came out on top of the bikini wrestling tournament, earning himself the first pick.
Damn right.
More comfortable than I expected it would be, but not great.
I mean, you could have like changed clothes before we started recording, but
Nah,
There was no time.
the mud's already dry.
You know you like this, Ryan. Just admit it.
I enjoy my friends in every way, shape, and form that they offer themselves to me.
Yeah.
Whatever that means. Moving on.
Let's not clarify that
Yes.
phrasing.
All right.
Not go further with that.
So,
please.
quick rundown on how our prediction series works. Each of us are going to choose a Yusho, June Yusho, special prize, Kimboshi winner, and also somebody to get Kachikoshi at the Maegashira 9 ranks or below, and somebody to get a Makekoshi at the Maegashira 8 ranks and above. Each of us, only one Rikshi can be selected per category. So let's say Max selects Hakuho to win the Yusho. None of us can select Hakuho to win the Yusho. But coming back around, what if I want to pick Hakuho for the June Yusho? That's A-okay, but nobody else can select Hakuho for the June Yusho. So,
Each guy can only be picked once per category, but they can be picked in multiple categories.
yes. So we will go over to Mac for his Yusho pick.
Burn me once, shame on you. Burn me twice, shame on me. Hakuho.
There you go.
So this would be what? Him burning you 3 times if he doesn't get it?
Shut up.
Mac likes to just bet on health, doesn't he?
Yes, I do.
All right, Jake, who do you got?
I have no idea.
All right, Fleric.
All right.
I would
Seems
still like to
Jake
take
is
a pick, though.
absconding his pick.
God, oh man.
No, I'll wait. I'll wait.
You know what? Let's go Takakeisho.
Keisho.
Yeah,
like
you know
it.
what? If we're going risky, I'll go with risky too.
We'll go to Rikshi business.
Rikshy business.
All right. I'm not going to go risky, and I'm going to go with Kakuryu.
Dang you. That forces me to go risky.
And
You did a lot of prep for this one, didn't you?
I mean, in my rankings, the one that I would pick is Takayasu,
But you also don't
But you
want
don't
to.
want to.
but I will. I mean,
he's still a heavy favorite. Don't feel too bad.
yeah.
You going with Takayasu?
Yeah, I'm going with Takayasu because
right.
even if he gets a Junior show, I get a half a point.
That's true.
Or, yeah, if he gets a Junior show, he gets half point. And we do the snake draft style, which means that I get the first pick for the Junior show.
Go for it.
You gonna double down?
No, I'm not going to double down. I'm gonna Hakuho down.
Oh.
Haku Hoedown.
Haku Ho.
There's a movie.
There's an idea that we can use in the future. Hakuho down.
Yeah, okay. I like it. I'm doing it right now while
Fleric?
podcasting.
Yeah.
Doing the Haku Hoedown.
I am also torn, but I think
Double down on the cocks.
I probably should. I'll double down the Cox and go
Wow.
with Kakuryu.
Yikes.
A potentially risky move by Fleric there.
Yeah, because
But it could also be a 1.5 move for him.
like whether or not
If
You should do
Kakuryu wins
so.
the U show, he gets a point for the U show, but he also gets a half point for the Junior show because we give half
Yep.
points.
that's true.
Flair just doubled down.
Our rules are ridiculous. I'll take Takayasu.
They are.
That means I get Takakeisho. Woo!
And that's usually how the Junior show picks
Yeah.
go. Reverse order of how the U show picks went.
Yeah.
Pretty close.
All right, Mac, special prize
Special prize, I'm going Uno Show.
Oh no.
Oh no.
show.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
That was my pick. I'm gonna go with. Oh man, I needed to bring it up because I knew I was going to say his name wrong. Tomokaze.
Oh.
I think he is going to blow us out of the water in his debut.
Yeah. He was going to be one of my picks as well, but I'm going to go with Takakeisho. I think he's going to cement his Ozeki run with many special prizes.
I will go with.
I mean, I know that I never do prep, but I usually expect better from you, Ryan.
Yeah, geez, Ryan.
I forgot.
Ryan.
I forgot I was choosing this one last, and I shouldn't have hyped up Tomokaze as much as I did at the beginning.
You fool.
Just pick Aoyama.
No.
Yeah.
Do it.
Go Edo.
You know you want to.
Teru
Yeah.
It was between him and Yago.
Here's on my list too.
Here we go again.
All right, it is Kinboshi time, and typically me getting the first pick would mean Hokuto Fuji over Kisei no Sato, but both of those are no longer
But you
options.
can't do that.
What are you gonna do?
I'm not gonna go with Kaisei. Kaisei has a proven record of not getting Kinboshi, but somebody who does have a proven record of getting Kinboshi with 4 career Kinboshi is Endo over Kakuryu.
Yeah, there's not much.
Had that.
There's not much picking here, so I'm gonna go Nishikigi versus, I guess, Hakuho.
He was pretty close against Hakuho
Cleric.
last time.
There you go.
I mean, he's gonna have one of the 2 wins over Hokuto Fuji this basho. So who's to say Nishikigi couldn't also beat Hakuho?
If we're, you know what? If we're shooting for the moon here, let's go Kaisei over Kakuryu.
Only Kakuryu though, not Hakuho.
I mean, I don't think he's going to beat either of the guys, but hey, if I get this one right, how cool would that be?
Not very cool.
I wouldn't enjoy it.
It would be
slightest.
minorly cool for me only. That's how cool.
I just want to say now, I hate all 3 of you since you picked all 3 of the ones that I wanted.
Well, you should have made a list 4 long.
Yeah. Just pick Aoyama. They'd be good.
No!
Do it.
Miyogiru over Kakuryu.
There you go.
Ugh. Ow, that one hurt.
All right, and then Mac, who is going to have a Kachikoshi ranked 9 or below?
Ryuden.
Not bad.
Damn it, you're leaving the door wide open for Jake to double up on.
Tomokaze.
Dang it!
I have more faith in Ryuden. You can do it.
I'm gonna go with Yago. Here we Yago again.
I am not going to double up on Terutsuyoshi, but I will go with Shohozan.
All right, last
So
category.
Hozan's all the way down there. Wow.
Yeah.
Last category, Makekoshi at Maegashira 8 and above. Let's go with Daisho.
Not bad. Fleric?
Not bad. Okay. It's going that way. Can I pick everyone? All of them?
All of the hot
All
garbage?
of them.
All of them Maegashira 1 and below.
Yeah. I will go with Shodai.
Damn you, Fleric.
I was going to say, if you pick everyone Maegashira 1 and below, I will allow it. But if any one of them gets a Kachikoshi, you
really?
lose.
Yeah, you're all in or you're all out.
That sounds like some terrible rules. It doesn't sound fair
Well,
at
good
all.
thing you chose Shodai.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Nishikigi.
All right, Mac.
Last pick.
There's like 16 of them. You can't be
I
that
know.
mad at us.
No, I'm not mad at you. I'm just mad at my pick. This one's going to hurt. Kyoto Shogiku.
Poor guy.
That one hurts.
I'm wounded.
I almost picked him too.
Well, Shodai was my first pick.
Haha.
All right, that is our picks. I'll probably post something on Twitter about what our picks look like in the
If you
coming
feel like
days.
it.
I usually feel like it. I like Twittering. But right now, it is time to introduce to the table the Bowl O punishments, which contains a smattering of punishments that Mac will now draw from.
Since he's probably the one who's going to have to do it.
Yes.
Hello
He
again.
did win the
As is
bikini
tradition.
mud wrestling contest for this honor.
Yeah,
He's much better at that than he is at picking sumo wrestling. though.
he's
Yes.
surprisingly good at that.
The Bull and I are quite well acquainted at this point.
His grip, my God. Even when we were so lubricated.
Ha!
All right, Mac.
Oh.
You may
Mac,
not
put the money back.
No!
you may not draw the petty cash out of the bowl of
Yes,
punishments.
the bowl of
I
punish-
pulled it. I
the-
pulled it.
The Bolo punishment also happens to be the Bolo money for some reason.
But there was money in
It's the
there.
podcast petty cash. We've got $12.50 in there. It's
All right,
supposed to
all
cover all our meals for the rest of the Bosch show.
right. Okay. And what level of fun do we have today? Oh.
Oh my!
Oh my.
Just read it.
The loser must repeat the phrase of the winner's choice whenever asked. D12.
Okay, so that one is we're going to have a dice of some size or another, maybe not a D12, but
I just said 12.
yeah, we are going to each of us are going to put forward suggestions for things that the loser should say. We're also going to open this up to Twitter for suggestions for what we want the loser to say, and periodically throughout the episode, the winner will roll a dice, whatever sided dice that is, and whatever number comes up, they will have to say that phrase. So kind of similar to the one we did where Fleric had to praise.
What did you have to say?
Wait, what
I
was that,
don't
Fleur?
recall for some
Yes,
reason.
Fleric had to praise Busch Light and it's all its
Over craft
gloriousness.
beer.
As the king of beers.
Yes, it's going to be like that, but with many, many more embarrassing things to say. So think of your best possible suggestions. If you want it to be person specific, we might not get there if that person doesn't win, but throw them out there anyways.
We'll post it on Twitter. We'll get some suggestions in.
I'm sure all of us will have a specific thing to be said if we lose. So
Oh, yeah.
be very creative and imaginative, and don't swear
Why?
because we try not to do that.
Stop being a dick.
I like it. Edgy. Is it a swear?
Yes.
I don't know.
I don't know.
All right. You can also send us your predictions. We are going to post our bold predictions thread sometime within the next day or two as well. We always enjoy reading your bold predictions. We also want to shout out. I don't have her name in front of me, Jake. So if you could pull that up real quick. But we did have.
That would be our fan from Ireland, Lorenza.
Yes, she sent us her predictions for this Basho. Jake, what were her predictions for this Basho?
You're just leaning on me because I'm the only one who thought to bring it up beforehand, aren't you?
You sure are, buddy.
Hey. It's on the outline.
Oh, man. Anyways, Lorenza did not have quite the handicap that we did where we had to let Ryan steal all of our picks and stuff. But for the Yusho winner, she's got Hakuho.
Yeah.
For Jun Yusho, Tamawashi.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. For Kachikoshi, Yago.
Okay.
For Makekoshi, Ichinojo.
No, all right.
Kinboshi, I think Kinboshi.
She went
there's a
with
change.
Abi.
Well, hey, that's a
Over
solid
at Kakuryu.
choice.
I think that Abi was a bit lower in the rankings.
Yeah,
though.
we don't expect Abi to actually have a chance at a Kinboshi.
It could happen, though. I will say.
Not impossible.
It's not impossible.
So Lorenzo would like to double up on these last two picks being Endo then for the Kinboshi and the special prize.
All right.
Ooh.
Okay.
So we'll follow along with Lorenza, and
when she beats the crap out of us, we'll
As
all
is
say
tradition,
that it's
as is
because she
tradition.
didn't have the handicap that we had while picking. So it doesn't really count.
you poor man and your pride.
It's all I have, even if it's false.
That's fair.
All right. It is time for some fun facts, I believe. But before we have fun facts, we have fun movie titles.
Yay!
All right. Why doesn't somebody who's not me read what we got?
I'll do it.
At Citizen Parable offers us a fistful of salt for a few dohyo more. And wasn't there one more? Why did we not?
I put a comma there. That was supposed to be a period.
Okay.
Love the Clint Eastwood movies. Love it.
All right. And then we also had at Josh I offer us Little Orphan Enho alongside some porn parodies that we would rather not mention here on the
I'd rather
podcast.
mention them.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I wanted to make sure I had your permission. No, I this one made me laugh out loud. I loved it. Daisho does Dallas.
Of course, if you are over 18, you can look up what that is
Moving
parodying.
on.
If you're under 18, don't worry about it.
How about those fun facts?
How about them, Jake?
Tell me more about your time when you're below 18, Ryan.
I'd rather not.
Fun facts. Fun facts.
Yes, fun facts. Got an update on a fun fact that we did in the Kyushu Basho. Kisei no Sato started off the Basho 0-3, and so we did some research onto what happened to Yokozuna shortly after having an 0-3 start in a Basho. And what we found is that most of them retired after that Basho. As we know, Kisei no Sato did not retire after that Basho. He
Just the next time.
Exactly. He had, in the next consecutive Basho after that, he had only the 8th time that a Yokozuna started 0-3. Then he pulled out and retired. And so this happened to...
He has a quarter of them ever?
Yes.
He has 2 out of the 8 that have ever happened?
Yes, there have only ever been 8 times that a Yokozuna has started a Basho 0-3, and 2 of them have happened in the last 2 Basho.
Ouch.
So this has happened to 6 total Rikshi because Asashio back in the 60s also did this twice. 5 out of 6 of these Rikshi retired immediately or shortly after their 0-3 start. 3 out of these 6 retired immediately after their 0-3 start. They started 0-3 and then they were Intai. 2 out of 6, Kiseno Sato and Asashio, competed after the poor start and then retired very shortly thereafter. And 1 out of the 6 wrestlers is Wajima and wrestled for 6 more years and won 7 more Yusho.
Nice.
Probably good that he kept doing that.
Yes.
Hey, he's Wajima. He was awesome.
Check out our recent bonus episode on Wajima. He passed recently, so we did a deep dive into the history of his career and his pro wrestling day, the adventures is
Yes.
the word I was looking for. Pro wrestling adventures afterwards.
Truly a rock
Escapades.
star. Truly a rock star, Yokozuna.
And this other fun fact that I have also came out of our Wajima episode. We had a comment on our Twitter from, I'll get it pulled up in a moment.
From a follower.
Letting us know that, because we had mentioned Wajima enjoyed driving like nice cars, and we had brought up, well,
Imported cars.
yeah,
He was a bit of a, like Max said, a rock star.
could Wajima actually do that, as you're not allowed to drive when you are a Nishi? But Wajima was in the 70s, was his time to shine. And so what we learned from, let's see, God, I keep pressing the wrong button.
Technical difficulties.
At Sumo Yokai, she said that from what she read, the ban on sumotori driving happened in the mid-'80s. So it is very possible that Wajima did drive. And so I wanted to look into that and kind of figure out, well, what happened in the mid-'80s. And so
I was going to guess it would have been Wajima.
That's what I was thinking. It was because
the
of
time-
Wajima.
But
it
the
was
time
not
frame doesn't line
Wajima.
up.
It was not Wajima because it was about 4 years after he retired. I don't have anything concrete as in like this happened, then the JSA instituted this rule.
Keep going.
Okay, you're raising your finger like you had something to say.
I think I know there's something concrete, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then hopefully you can correct me if I'm incorrect. But what I found is that there was an accident prior to the May 1985 tournament where the former Nishi Mitoizumi received cuts to his face and had to miss the Natsu Basho. A little bit about Mitoizumi. His career high rank was Sekiwake, and he won the Nagoya 1992 Basho. He retired in 2000, and his career began in 1978.
That's a heck of a long career.
No
Yeah.
kidding.
And then after his retirement, he opened the Nishikido stable as Nishikido Oyakata in 2002, and they got their first and currently only Sekitori in Mitoryu, who became a Sekitori in January 2018. There is one other notable incident that happened in December of 2000. Former Makuuchi Nishi Toki hit and killed a pedestrian.
That's the one I've heard.
Yeah, hit and killed a pedestrian in 2000. So we've recently had a couple of Nishi that have gotten into accidents or something, and they've immediately...
Unless their wife was driving.
Yes. They immediately were recommended to retire by the JSA. This Toki, who hit and killed a pedestrian in December of 2000, the Japan Sumo Association ordered him not to leave his house for 2 months. He was given a 20% pay cut, and he missed the January 2001 Basho, but continued to wrestle until about 2005 or 6.
Yikes. That's interesting.
Yeah,
How,
I'm pretty
how
sure.
much-
I'm pretty sure that's when the rule was put into place in the
What
2000s.
I saw
That's why
is-
he wasn't forced to retire.
Yeah, what I saw was like Mitoizumi, Mitoizumi, the 1985 incident. It like kind of became maybe like a soft recommendation from the Japan Sumo Association, but it was this Toki incident that really cemented it as you do not drive. And this Toki, coincidentally enough, is now a coach for the Nishikido stable run by Mitoizumi, or the former Mitoizumi, now Nishikido Oyakata.
There's the segue. Interesting.
Yeah.
And is that the stable that was involved recently in any of the more recent driving scandals?
Not that I know
Okay.
of.
That would be...
That was all Utake.
That
pretty
would
sure.
Yeah.
make it more than a coincidence.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I've got 2 fun facts. One sumo-related, one Wikipedia rabbit hole-related.
Uh-oh.
First off, the first konishiki, we have talked a handful of times about the Hawaiian konishiki from like the 80s and 90s. Very well-renowned ozeki. But the very first konishiki is who he was named after. This is back in the late 1800s. So the first konishiki, he was the, let's see, which number? He was the 17th yokozuna. And he wrestled from 1888 to 1900. And there was a stretch between 1888 and 1895 where he won fully half of the bashos that he participated in. There weren't as many per year back then. There was usually only two tournaments a year. But still, 7 championships over the course of, let's see, those 7 years. That's like the equivalent of 21 championships over that time period. So nothing to be ashamed of there, that's for sure. Problem is, after that string of wins, he sat out one basho, and then he was a ozeki for one more basho, then promoted to yokozuna, after which he never won another tournament.
Ooh.
Yeah, so he won 7 out of 14, and then in the end he finished 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 without a single win. And then retired after that.
Different times.
But this is the guy who inspired the name Konishiki to stick around. There have actually been 6 of them. 6 Konishikis. Ozeki Konishiki, the Hawaiian, is the only other one to achieve that level of success. My other fun fact was it's tangentially related to sumo, as happens when I'm looking up things on like Hakuho or Kakuryu. I get into Mongolian history. And a weird tie between Japanese and Mongolian history. There's a very famous samurai named Minamoto no Yoshitsune. A guy in the late 1200s was the time that he was a big name. He was a general. He led armies in this time period. But what's most interesting to him, or the reason that I came across this name, is that according to several highly discredited accounts, he was supposed to have died in a siege, but instead of committing seppuku, escaped to Mongolia and resurfaced as Genghis Khan. Like the weirdest, silliest historical rumor I've ever heard. But there are multiple sources that say, no, this is very silly. Notably, Genghis Khan's life up until that same year. Genghis Khan was already a thing by the time that this happened. But I thought
that's kind of funny.
A famous samurai who's like, nope, instead of this where I've lost, I'm going to go over here and become the greatest conqueror of the recorded history. Oh, well. But now, moving on from fun facts.
Yes, we have listed off quite a few movie titles that caught our attention that we really liked, but there was one person who gave us a lot of sumo movie titles and a lot of quality sumo movie titles, and that was at Zuto Akogare. And some of her offerings were
spectacular offerings.
Yes, were Kachikoshi Me If You Can, Totari Call, The Last Supari, Kisei no Saturday Night Fever, Downton Abbey, The Greatest Show Hozan, and Crouched. Somebody else say that one.
Crouchio
Tairyu, Hidden Dragagamaru.
That's the one.
I think that one was probably my overall favorite.
I think mine was Kisei no Saturday Night Fever.
Nope, Totari Recall.
Yeah, great showing and a well-deserved win to join us in fantasy for this basho.
Agreed.
Yes, we have already had our fantasy draft. We've posted the results on Twitter. And the team name, if you want to root for our guest, is a Mata of Life and Death.
I love how you enunciate Twitter every time.
Twitter.
The Twitter.
That's what I do.
It's like our vocal warm-up exercises or something.
No, let's not go into that.
But you don't forget to vote on who you think's going to win the our fantasy picks there.
Yeah, somebody vote for Flerick. He has
please.
an area.
No, I'm appreciating the
love.
love. I'm appreciating the love.
All right. Jake, why don't we go over ELO real quick?
Our sumo power rankings, if I have done my homework, should be tweeted out by the time that this episode is released, so you can check it out there or ridicule me thoroughly on Twitter for not doing it.
I'll ridicule you in person.
You go right ahead. But I have posted our top 10 and our bottom 10 on that. I just took a screenshot of our rankings here with the top and bottoms. It's a little bit skewed this time around because we have so many Juryo guys, and Juryo guys, when they come up to Makuuchi, are they're already like the lowest guys. So our bottom 5 guys are exactly who you'd expect by their previous rank. But at the very top, we've got Hakuho, Tamawashi, and Takakeisho, all within 5 points of each other, right at about 1,100. So that is like the elite level. If you are sniffing 1,100, you are the top guys. So you can check that out. And there's a link included to view our sheet that will be updated every day during the Basho, and you can see how different wrestlers' rankings are going up and down.
All right, and before we wrap up this podcast, let's see what everybody is most excited for in this upcoming Haru Basho. There seems like there's quite a few storylines for us to be following, but Fleric, which one has your attention the most?
It's got to be the tale of two Ozeki runs. Takakeisha versus Tamawashi. Let's see how it goes.
What about you, Mac?
There are two things I'm excited for with this tournament.
You have to pick one.
No, I'm doing two. Definitely want to see how, like Fleric said, Takakeisho and Tamawashi perform with this one. I think this is going to be a great match to watch and just see their different performances. But I'm just excited because this month we get a double dose of sumo. Not only do we have the current Basho going on over in Japan, we also have the Grand U.S. Sumo Open that's going to be going on March 23rd. So if you want to do more than just watch the amazing Rikishi over in Japan, you can tune in on YouTube and watch the U.S. Sumo Open in California.
Yeah, and prior to last year's Sumo Open, we got an interview with the founder of the U.S. Sumo Open. You can go back and check that out. That's one of our earlier bonus episodes. But yeah, the sumo in that tournament, they do weight classes. That's like international sumo rules. They've got lightweight, middleweight, and heavyweight. And some of that lightweight sumo is
Holy
friggin'
cow, are
awesome.
they athletic.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
All right, Jake, what are you most excited for?
Well, now I'm kind of hyped up about the U.S. Sumo Open.
Right? It's going to be great.
But one thing that I kind of went on a rant about last Basho at some point was how I was kind of frustrated that the top guys, namely Hakuho and Kakuryu, have been injured recently. I went on a rant about how the younger guys can't really get the rub to be the next top generation if those guys are hurt so often and they can't beat them to prove that they're the next guys. You know, I'm excited that it sounds like Hakuho and Kakuryu are both going to be at least starting the Basho. So I'm excited. Hopefully, guys like Takakeisho can get a win or two over those guys, and really cement their spot as the next big guys. I'm hopeful, but we'll see what happens in the first couple days, and if those Yokozunas take some losses, I may go on that rant again.
I think beyond what you guys have all mentioned already, and putting my love of Hokuto Fuji aside, probably most excited to see if Tomokaze can live behind all the hype we suddenly put behind him.
Oh, wow.
The last hour, I've been hearing really good things about him.
Yeah. Seems like a future Yokozuna indeed.
Everybody I've talked to
Some
about
buzz.
sumo in the last hour
Yes,
has been really high on Tomokaze.
He has to defeat future Yokozuna Oyama first.
So what do you think he's going to have, Ryan? What's his record?
10-5.
10-5?
Oh.
Solid.
With a special prize?
Yes.
Well,
I think
sweet.
If you make it double digits in your Makuuchi debut, that's
You're gonna
pretty
get
much
some fighting.
guaranteed
Yeah.
a Kanto.
You're going to get
show.
the Fighting Spirit prize for sure. Ishiura got that a couple of years ago. We've seen a couple of guys get it since.
Yep. All right, and that'll do it for us. You can leave us a review and send us feedback at grandsumobreakdown@gmail.com.
You can find us Grand Sumo Breakdown on Facebook and Twitter.
Our blog is now grandsumobreakdown.com.
Woohoo.
Get that WordPress out of here.
Dang right.
You can drop us a line at 805-613-7866. That's 805-613-SUMO.
All right, and we will be recording our midway episode sometime around day 7 or 8, and we'll have our review episode shortly after the Basho. But until then, we will see you later. Thank you for listening to Grand Sumo Breakdown.
Until next time.
Throw your salt high.
And keep moving forward. Wakamoto Haru.
Wakataka kage wakamoto haru. Wakataka kage wakataka moto.
Dayamami. Dayamami Tokushoryu. Dayamami.
Just getting the vocal
Wakataka
exercises,
Dayamami.
stretching out the facial muscles. That was good. Muscles.
Chiyo. Chiyo. Chiyo.
Record a fucking
Chiyo.
podcast.
Chiyo.
Chiyo.
Where are the other drugs going?
Chiyo. Wakamoto
What, you've never
Haru.
seen that from College Humor?
Maybe.
Oh, The Dark Knight. It's a parody of that when he hauls up Wirtz. Just, where are the other drugs going? They parody it as like, I'm talking like a bass. He goes,
Koshikadoban.
where are the other drugs going? Why the hell are you talking like that?
Show Mawashi.
No, that's not intimidating at all.
Wakataka Keisho.
Like he goes through like 50 different versions. Where are the other drugs going?
I have seen
That-
those back.
that right there, that was terrifying.
Oh,
My voice is hoarse.
Wakataka
It's
Keisho.
gone.
Wakataka Keisho.
All right,
Waka Waka Kise.
Fuzzy bear. Waka waka waka.
Wakataka.
Tomokaze. Terutsuyoshi.
dibs Waka Waka Kise for my
Waka waka kise.
Shikona. We should all adopt Shikona, and mine is Waka Waka Kise.
I don't know if we're ever going to top Kentama Yama, though.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Well, no.
No.
That's pretty good.
We can never get atop the ball mountain.
Wakataka Wakataka Kaise.
We could literally do this for hours.
Yeah, I know. And I'm pretty sure Fleric's recording
Oh no,
anyway.
it is.
I know he
It
is.
is all recorded.
This is a fun time. Continue. Don't mind me.
We've been going for almost 2 minutes.
Toyo no Shima. Amen Nishiki.